everybody, Scott McGinnis here for Armsportvideos, and we're at the World Arm Wrestling Championships in Mesquite, Nevada, and sitting beside me is the WAF President, Fred Roy.
Hey,
Fred,
buddy.
nice to see you.
Yeah, right on.
Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Hell of a week going so far.
Hey, it's going great so far, isn't it?
Yeah, really good.
So it's been a couple of years since we got a chance to sit down and talk. So I thought maybe we catch up, get kind of like a State of the Union
speech
going on without it being a speech.
Yeah.
Without it being a speech at all. But
Yeah.
so I think since the last time we sat down and spoke on camera, you ran for re-election as president of WAF,
Yeah.
and it was a really, really close race.
Right.
And you came out on top again.
Yep. That close.
I know it was a really close, really close race between you and Hassan, vice president and president of the European Federation.
Okay.
So, you know what? What's been happening in the past 3 years since then?
Well, there's been, of course, in politics. There's always lots going on.
Yes.
And, every continental federation has their own little unique problems, and we got to try to handle each and every one of them. And they all have their own political styles.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be stepping on toes, but you want to be able to give them their freedom to be unilateral and and still get the jobs done that they have to. And some of the things you have to monitor, of course, is are they really doing the right things, or that kind of stuff. And sometimes you can interfere in a nice way where it's going to work out in the right way, and other times it could be a problem, and you got to step on toes. But you try not to do that, because you want to give everybody as much independence and free flow as you can. So.
Okay. So, in your opinion, are we making gains in arm wrestling, getting it bigger, bringing it more to more of the population? Is there significant growth in the past few years?
Yeah, but there's several things that are all kind of coming together right now. One of them is the Sports Accord application that we're working on. Very intense, a lot of paperwork, and it replaces the old gas fee regime that we used to try to deal with. We went through a couple of processes. We went the FILA route,
yes,
which is the Federation of International Luta Associations, which is all just street wrestling, and they were trying to bring us in under their umbrella, and but we would have lost our independence.
Okay.
We would have lost our name. We would have lost quite a few things, and create a lot of work and logistics that we just not ready for, and too costly for us. And the membership didn't want us to go that route.
No, okay.
So we were going to pursue the GASF route, but then they switched over and they went over to what they now call the Sports Court.
Okay.
And they moved their head offices from where they were before, and now they're all in Lausanne, Switzerland, with the rest of the most international sporting groups.
That's where most of the sporting groups have their head offices and are located in Lausanne, Sweden?
Yeah.
Switzerland, sorry?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that's going on. So this year at the Worlds, we brought forward all the application papers that we need, because the big thing they thrive on is information.
Okay.
And we needed that information from our member countries. Like, we needed specific information. And so that's what we're trying to get.
So now we're in the process of obtaining all that information from each individual country?
Individual country.
Okay.
And we need we want to go with a minimum of 40-some countries to be able to apply for a Sports Accord, for the simple reason that most of us feel that we should be a winter sport, because there's lesser sports in that field to be able to get into, and summer sports is like there's just multitudes of.
There's lots and lots of summer sports, right? Okay.
So, and I'm thinking that that might be our best route. So we're going to try. We've got the membership.
Okay.
We've got that criteria filled. Now we get the information to them. We have to have everything in there by, I think, February sometime. And then the application will go to their executive in June.
Okay.
And that's when they'll make a decision on whether they'll accept the World Arm Wrestling Federation as a member or not.
Okay. So we'll find out in June.
Well, the meeting is in June.
Oh, okay.
Whether we find out in June or just a little bit later, whatever. Or they'll come back to us and say, okay, you're missing this and this and this, and then back to the drawing board and do that again.
Another one of the issues that is brought up a lot is drug testing on the WAF level. Do you think, the WAF is heading in the right direction? Is it making a difference?
Well, some years we get no infractions.
Yeah.
And other years we may get 2 or 3. So I think we're doing something right.
Okay.
And we are also going into the process to actually become official with the WADA code.
Yes.
And to get a WADA signature.
Okay.
So that WAF has that WADA signature. But again, there's a long list of criteria to
Yeah.
follow.
Sure.
Excuse me. And that's a big process, and it's important because we have to keep our people honest and free from the cheating part of it. We want to capture the youth before they get thinking that
Sidetracked. Yeah.
Hey man, I want to do this bigger and faster, and
Yeah.
and we just want to caution everybody about the pitfalls of doing that kind of thing, and I think it's a very important program within WAF right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was actually just asked tonight, because a lot of people out there don't know. So give me the process and what happens, what are the penalties if you're caught with a positive drug test?
Well, right now our policy is that with the initial, if you get caught with any one steroid infraction, it's a 2-year suspension.
Okay.
But we haven't introduced it yet, but we talked about it at our meeting, that our anti-doping committee, they would like to increase penalties for those that, for example, if you get into, you get tested and you get found with more than one illegal substance, like some will use multiple.
Yes.
And if that happens, they want to just really blow it out of them.
So we're talking about like doubling the
doubling
sanction?
and tripling
really?
penalties, yeah.
Okay. So if I'm a competitor, I test positive. So I've heard different talks. So they test a sample, it tests positive, I get informed. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Then I choose yes or no to have my B
Yeah, the B sample taken.
Yeah. If I'm still posive.
And that will be at your own expense. If you
At my expense. I pay for that second test.
We do the first round.
Yes.
And if you found positive on something, we inform you. And if you say that it's not right, then it's your option.
Okay.
At your cost to get your B sample checked again.
Okay, so then that sample is found positive. So then, boom, automatically I'm notified that's
Yes.
positive. I have a 2-year suspension from the
Automatic,
WAF.
right there. And that's still even if it's a multiple infraction.
Okay.
At this point,
Right
because
now.
we haven't changed anything.
Okay, so I'm suspended 2 years from WAF. Does that mean I can't arm wrestle for 2 years anywhere?
That
or
is correct.
So I go back home to Nova Scotia, Canada, and
if your association belongs with the Canadian Federation is a national body that belongs to the North American Federation.
Yeah.
North American Federation belongs to WAF.
Okay.
WAF has a sanction against you. That sanction carries all the way down.
Okay, so my home province has to recognize that sanction.
That is correct.
What if they don't?
Then you're going to be penalized.
I'm going to be penalized again?
Yeah.
Okay, what if I go to a private arm wrestling tournament that's not part of...
Well, a professional league that we have no jurisdiction over, that's your baby.
Then that's fine.
And if people like to cater to people that cheat, so be it.
Okay, I just wanted to clear up
Yeah,
because people asked me tonight and I wasn't exactly sure. I had a pretty good idea, but that's cool. So that's drug testing.
The thing we want to hear, Scott, is we just want to make sure that people understand that person is a cheater.
Okay.
They can't do it naturally, and they shouldn't be in there, man. Like the drug thing is not the way to go. Absolutely not.
Okay. On a personal note, you're not arm wrestling this year.
No, I just didn't get in time to get in shape for it. I missed. I did 07 and 08, and I missed 09 and 10.
And now 10, okay.
And next year I hope to be in shape. I want to try again in Kazakhstan.
Okay, so your arm wrestling career is not over.
Oh no, I still want to rock and roll.
Okay, sweet.
I think there's a couple gold in here somewhere. I'm hoping.
So let's talk about our hosts this week: Bill and Ginger Collins, Simon Barachoa, Leonard Harkless, Denise Waddles. I think that's the team that's putting this on.
Awesome job.
They did a great job.
Super.
You're happy with everything?
Yeah. Well, when you think about U.S. has got to be one of the toughest countries to get into with the the travel visas and stuff like that, and they've done a phenomenal job. There is some countries that we're not let in at all.
Okay.
But the majority, look at us, like 41 countries and almost 1,400 athletes. Like that's super.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So they've done a really good job in making sure that it all happens with us.
Okay. And you're happy with everything? Because when I first heard we were going to be outside in a tent, but that's not exactly what we have. It may technically be a tent.
Yeah.
That's not exactly what we're sitting in.
Coverall building, designed in Canada, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
Beautiful big building, something like 33,000 square feet of wide open, no pillars inside or anything, all self-suspended. And it's a great venue for us because it's so wide open and everybody can just wander around, and it doesn't matter where you're from. You see the staging and you see the big screen, and that's pretty good. Always a few things that you could improve on.
Of course.
And and we've met with the host committee and we're talking about that, and we take notes and we keep track of that, and then we try to pass that along to the next host, and when we build on everything, like we try to. The negatives always turn into positives. We work on those. We try to make the best we can with whatever we have, and it always comes out pretty nice.
Okay, good. I mean, the hotel has treated me fantastic since the week I've been here so far. The venue is great. You know what? Yeah. And I've watched the hosts running around like chickens with their head cut off.
Oh, they're amazing, eh?
Yeah,
arm wrestling and still doing all the work and hosting everything.
Isn't that the truth?
And the Casablanca and staff, they've just been awesome with everybody. Like, they've accommodated us like 110%.
Okay, fantastic. So you still have a couple more years in your mandate.
Yep.
So what anything new coming up that we need to know about?
I have my days where I think I've been in this 30-some years, and and I've been as president of the WAF since 1998. We went through some really trying times, and we've prevailed, and we've come through it all. And there's times when I think I should just back off and let somebody else take it over and get some new ideas and fresh blood going in there. But I have so much support, and so many people say, no, we're just getting to this stage and this stage, and you gotta keep driving.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes you think, well, God, should I do that or shouldn't I? And I just love coming to these things. Like, I think out of this 32nd annual, and I think out of 32nd, I've been to 28 or 27 of the World Armwrestling.
So you're still having fun?
Yeah, so far. There's days I'm not having fun, but
without a doubt,
the majority, it is fun in the long run. Like you meet so many great people, and there is the odd ones that grate on your nerves.
You're going to have days where you've got different people bring different opinions, different ideas, and they may not always agree with what you have in mind,
and always in different languages too. So there's always that little part of it. It's that makes it a little tough, but all in all. It's been just a super experience.
Okay. So coming out of the AGM, usually I hear that you guys choose like the next few locations. Mm-hmm. So I know next year we're in WAF is in Kazakhstan. The year after that is Brazil, then Poland.
And then in 14 we've got 3 countries vying.
One to put a bin now, okay.
Yeah. We have Lithuania, we have Slovakia, and South Africa. Yeah. And we didn't vote on it this year because we wanted them to bring forward their packages.
Okay.
So that, let the membership see what they're offering and go from there.
Okay. And the final question that I have for you, and it's the one that everybody wants to know, and it's up to you. So, as you sit right here right now, do you think we'll run again for the presidency of WAF?
Well, it'll depend on the support I get at that time. Like, the sports accord is really important to us. Like, we're really pushing hard to make that happen. And unbelievably, there are some factions within WAF that don't want that, and for whatever reason, I don't know if it's I don't understand why not. And I think a lot of them think that it's quite a barrier for us, like it's a huge leap.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a wall, man.
Okay.
You can get over that, man.
Yeah.
So with the people that we have working with us. The athletes that you have out there, you look at those guys out there today.
I was watching.
And you look at the youth that's coming up.
Yeah.
Man, like, that's exciting stuff to watch. Like, those guys put on a show. And if the sports accord doesn't accept that, and there are not to downplay any other sport, but we're leaps and bounds above some of the sports that are being recognized as a sport.
As official sports,
that's out there. And we meet all the criteria. Like we've got the disabled, we've got the youth, we've got the women, we've got the men, we've got every age class that you can think of.
Yeah, masters, grandmasters, senior grandmasters.
It just goes on and on,
Yeah.
We're going to have to add another day to our venue because it's getting so huge. And but that's the growing thing, you know.
Okay.
And I think that some of the European countries are really leading the way, like they're helping it out that way. I know the Russians are. They have some problems within their organization that we have to deal with, but they do have some tremendous ideas, and they really involve people, and that's
Great.
a great thing too, you know.
Okay, so as it sits right now, you just haven't made up your mind yet.
Well, I like I said, it totally depends on the if I feel the love. You know, if I faced a lot of negativity in our growth years and stuff like that, and I prevailed and I went through it. The big thing is I started a new construction company, and it's just growing leaps and bounds, and it's getting busier and busier, and it's my retirement thing.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I can't.
You can't not pay
disregard that.
attention to it, yeah,
so
for sure.
that'll play a big factor into what I decide for 2012. 2012 is the election year, so then we'll see what happens.
Okay, and I suppose though there's just one last thing. So because the few years I got to be around, I've done a little bit of work for the WAF, and so people have actually complimented me this year on the job that you guys have done. And my standard answer is, if you let the staff do their jobs, everything will work out fine.
Yeah.
So everything's been running swimmingly. And why don't you name off your staff and who you need to thank?
Well, our head girl there is Lise Blanchard. She just does a super job. She works night and day on stuff like it's. You know, you wonder where she pulls it out of. Like,
Yeah.
it's just amazing. And there's her son Anan's just he's really good on the merchandising part of it. And he's kind of taken over that lead of it. And we really need to do that with the WAF because we produce a tremendous product. Like what you see there, the people at arm wrestling, the results and all that kind of stuff. People want to see that. So we want to get into that part of it, the merchandising, the clothing part of it. For memorabilia, you need that. It's a source for our income because the source of income WAF has right now. We have no major sponsors, so we rely on our memberships from our countries.
Okay.
So Anna heads that up, and he comes up with some tremendous ideas. And
Great.
And we're working along with that. The other thing is the videoing and stuff. We'd like to see yourself involved in that some more. But TV is a really important part of our growing.
For sure.
You know.
Yeah.
So there's some certain people that have better contacts and they're already established, and so no sense reinventing the wheel. We
without a doubt.
make that happen, and hopefully we can work it out, and hopefully get some revenue out of that. So Alain's also looking at that, and I think he's trying to get your help on
Yeah, I'm trying to help him out as much as I can.
So we appreciate that. Then, of course, there's she has a whole contingency of people, auxiliary people that help with all the stuff.
Okay, I'm going to try and name them so we don't forget anybody.
Yeah.
We got Julie and Christy Roy.
Yeah.
Marc Andre and his wife, Christy.
Then we got
Matthew Paul was helping.
Yeah.
Lance Walker was doing a great job on the computers, an unbelievable job on the computers.
So
Day and night he's working. I'm hoping we're not forgetting.
My wife Debbie is helping out with the financial and.
Yes, Debbie Roy is always in the. Well, and because she's not out front, she's now more behind the scenes, helping out with the finances.
What else we got out there? And then we have from France. We got people helping us from there, getting her name right.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm going to feel terrible about this later.
But
okay.
Anyway, like that helps because you need probably. To rotate in and out, you need 7 to 8 people on that stage because we're manning the computers. You've seen how it went. We're running 6 tables.
Yes.
So you got to man 6 computers, and then that has to happen, and people have to be there to be able to run it. I think maybe if you had less interference, you could probably get away with maybe less people because they could run maybe 2 tables, 2 sets of computers.
Yeah.
But why risk that?
I don't know. For the first 3 days of the event, I think it ran pretty smooth.
Yeah.
The tables are moving pretty good. The weigh-ins seemed to go pretty smooth. Yeah. For the most part, the team registrations went pretty good. Yeah. I know you had a couple of hiccups along the way.
Yeah, we had this year for whatever reason. I think most of it, a lot of it was weather-related travel problems.
Yeah.
We ended up with 16 countries that missed the deadline for registering this year, and that really creates havoc for us because now. when people come to a tournament, they see the tournament going on, they think, wow, this is not that big a
this
deal.
is easy.
It's just going like nothing. Eh?
Yeah.
But meanwhile, back at the ranch, these 16 countries that didn't make the cutoff at the right time, they're going to come in later, and we're going to accommodate them, because we normally always do. So now what happens there is that our WAF crew now have to input all this information the whole night through, because starting at 9 o'clock the next morning, the weigh-ins start. So all that information has to be inputted so that they can, when that team comes in with their papers, we've got all that information there, and it's all in the database, and it's got to be there. And if it's not there, major havoc again. Eh? So everything, it just kind of tumbles over each other. So we got to make sure that it all happens. Some countries just blatantly don't even look at cut off. Just they'll accommodate us. So, but unless they have a very legit reason, we put the fines in place, and there's penalties. So
sure.
That kind of stuff.
So you got a good staff working to help things run smoothly for you. You and the executive are all working together to try and further the sport. I don't know, what else you got to tell us? Anything else happening? Or?
Well, I'm just hoping that the sports accord stuff comes through for us. If it does, and if they do accept us as members, it will mean a big thing, because then we've got a better plateau to lobby from, to try to become a recognized sport, even if it's just a spectator sport of any kind. Like
for
that.
Sure, yeah.
And we were speaking about all the different weight classes and how long it takes us to run all that. I think that in the end, if we do ever become into the Olympic program or even like a spectator sport, they're going to make us choose X amount of classes, and I think that we're going to have to make some hard decisions
cuts.
There. Yeah,
there's going to have to be cuts because there's a lot of classes.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, this event takes 4 days to run.
Yeah,
that's a lot of arm wrestling.
So they're going I don't think they'll allow us that at the Olympics in the venue, and if it was just a demonstration sport, just to introduce it to everybody, I think we have a pretty good idea of the weight classes that we that we would bring in there. They're all interesting, but there are some that are more interesting. So, but we just have to take a long, hard look at it. We'd make like an executive decision. It would be made with all the people involved.
So all the countries get to vote and help out?
We want their input. We want everybody's input, because that's the kind of organization we like to run. We like to run on something that everybody has a say in what's going on, and so they feel like they really do belong to the membership. It's not just a
dictatorship running things.
It really is a membership club where the people all have a say in what's going on.
Great. Well, listen, Fred, I really appreciate a few minutes of your time.
Yeah.
Thanks for sitting down. We'll have to do this again in a couple more years.
Right on. So there we go. 2012 election year. We'll see what happens.
In Brazil. There you go. Okay.
All
from Mesquite, Nevada, at the WAF World Arm Wrestling Championships, I'm Scott McGinnis, and that's Fred Roy, and we're out of here. Thanks.
Thank you.